We have 3 Lightning Network daemons on a single server. However, they act as a separate network machines, and we can forward RPC calls through Lightning Network client, just specifying the IP address of the machine and the port dedicated to the specific Lightning Network daemon. Now let's check the balances of each Lightning Network daemon, and we see that the second one has some bitcoins on its wallet, and it's real bitcoins in a real mainnet. And now let's check the channel balances, or basically how much Satoshi does we have in opened channels. And we see that there is no actually any channels, and the balance there are zeros. And now we are going to open the channel from the second node, which has the money, to the first node. So we need to specify the public key, which we got from RPC call made before. So here we specify the size of the channel, and it will be 700,000 of Satoshis. We got the error here since these two nodes, they were not connected to each other, so we first need to establish TCP/IP connection between them. Okay, so we got the connection, and now we opening the channel. And here we have the hash of funding transaction. And here we need to wait some time until we got the confirmation of this transaction. So basically this transaction got into the Bitcoin block. So now transaction is confirmed, and now we can create another channel. So we basically opening the channel between the second node and the third one, and we have the hash of the funding transaction again. So now we have 2 open channels, and we actually can perform Lightning Network transactions inside these opened channels. But before, let's check the balance of the Bitcoin wallets and of the Lightning Network channels. So we see that second wallet or Bitcoin wallet on the second node doesn't have as many Bitcoins as before, but it has additional balance on channels. And let's see what the structure of the channels of the second node, and we see that there are 2 channels, and we can see the balance inside these channels. So we basically see the whole details of the channels. Now let's move some bitcoins inside the first channel from node 2 to the first LND. Basically we are calling some RPC calls with adding invoice on the first node, and we're going to execute this invoice on the second node. And basically that will be the payment from the second node to the first one. And the value of the payment is 500,000 satoshis. Okay, so payment is sent, and we can see the details of it, and it was single hop payment. And now let's check the balance of the two LNDs participated in this payment. So here we actually can see that the first LND got 500,000 satoshis. Now let's make the multi-hop payment, and we create an invoice on the third LND, and this invoice size is 300,000 satoshis. And we're going to execute this invoice on the first node, on the first LND. And here is the status of the payment. It was successful, and we can see the details of it. And it was a multi-hop payment, including 2 channels in it. And let's check the balances of all LNDs participated in this payment. We can see that the first LND got minus 300,000 satoshis. Second LND didn't get any changes in channel balance. And the third node received 300,000 satoshis. Now, to make sure the technology is working, let's close the channels, and let's make sure that the distribution of the bitcoins inside of the channel settled correctly between the LNDs. So first we need to get the transactions IDs, or actually hashes of the funding transactions, and call the specific RPC call which will close the channels. And the closing of the channel will take some time. So basically the closing transaction have to get into the block, and we need to wait until it gets into the block. Now we see that the closing transaction is confirmed, and we got the ID or hash of the closing transaction. Now let's close the second channel, and actually we cut it down the waiting time of the closing transactions. So we can't see it in this video, but we actually wait for 10 minutes until the transaction gets confirmed. Okay, so here we have the second closing transaction is confirmed, and now we're going to check the channel statuses or balances of the channels of LNDs, and we make sure that it is 0 for each LND. And after that we will check the Bitcoin wallet balances of each LND. So basically we can see that the wallet balance of the first LND is 0.002, some on the second LND, and 0.003 on the